of the information, but what kind of questions do you have?
A couple. So the other day when we spoke about this, one of the last pieces of information you left me with was to look at the billboards in Legion Square. Now, I did that. Obviously, the crest as well that I saw originally. Noticed all those, pretty certain those 4 billboards are what's on the crest, which kind of leads me to something I think you'd be able to answer. On the crest, the top left-hand corner, which is that, does that mean New Epsilon?
Um, which crest are you talking about?
There's the city crest, the one that's been altered to say Conquered 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the difference between the New Epsilon, the Epsilon is it company, the Epsilon Collective?
Mm.
Is there a difference? Are they
I'll
the
say
same
you are
thing?
quite astute to recognize there is some small connection there. On the Los Santos State seal, on the top center, there is an Epsilon symbol on it.
Yeah, I'd kind of I'll be honest with you, I only kind of noticed that this morning when I was looking at it again.
Mm. I will say Epsilon Collective and New Epsilon are barely tangentially related in the way that one of its sibling companies, Nest, helped us, helped investing to clear out Chris Formage's debts so we could have access to the building. It's only relatively recently that I learned about the name of our benefactors.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh Jesus. And instead of I know EJ was talking about history of the city, but like the Epsilon logo that's on the crest, that is probably the
Hmm.
one part of the image that's not altered on the city crest. What is, I guess, the history behind that? And like, I guess it seems like there was a part to play in the formation of the city almost.
Hmm. To some degree, um, there were some Epsilonists, for lack of a better phrase, that were notable members of the community about 157 or so years ago.
Jesus.
Usually taking the roles of community leaders and whatnot.
Almost as old as James Rendell.
Just about. In the, I guess, Chris Formage era of the Epsilon program. It was an enforced idea amongst the, I'll say it plainly, his followers, that the world itself is but 157 years old. Sort of taking in this narrow view that the modern world that we walk around in was formed by these Epsilonists of Los Santos, San Andreas, and unfortunately a little dismissive of what came before it and what led to its formation.
Fascinating. It's
Hmm.
funny looking back. I kind of, although we never went into details, I kind of now realise I think we kind of touched on this when we first met and we were talking in Franks at one point. Kind of rings
A
a bell.
small amount.
Yeah, when you were starting this out.
You know, it's a strange kind of poetry, in a way. Maybe not the beautiful kind, but Edgar Allan Poe's The Conqueror Worm kind. The way that things can become corrupted through time and through, I don't know, vice, greed,
Hmm.
apathy. I mean, on a base level, people who exercise through the philosophy of Epsilonism, it's supposed to be about bounteous generosity, giving to others so that in the long run everyone gets to benefit. But very much like
Huh.
I suppose the city of Los Santos itself, things that started out gilded in gold, bright-eyed and hopeful for an egalitarian utopian future, when put through a distorted lens or maliciously interpreted by people who are greedy and ill-meaning, it can become bastardized to some degree. As the Epsilon program did, and as to some degree Los Santos has become. This bastion of heedless hedonism and violence. I suppose one of the greater questions is, how does one get back to basics? And I think that's the big question that
Oh my
different
god.
groups are trying to solve to some degree.
When you were talking just now, I'm glad you said that last sentence you just said, because I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if that group that people are so scared to say their name, is that their goal in their own weird way? Was the thought that just popped into my head after seeing that latest poster.
Hmm. There's a couple of different. This is going to sound more fantastical than I mean it, but there are a couple of forces that have opposing answers to this problem that we are facing. And I'm certain you've seen more than your fair share of it, and perhaps even felt it. Apathy, repeating of cycles, as though we are trapped in some sort of purgatory. Now, let us say that you have a sandcastle, beautifully crafted, intricate details. You decorate it with seashells. It's gorgeous, it's perfect. And a part of that sandcastle crumbles. What are a couple of different ways someone would react to that?
Some would try and rebuild that sandcastle. Some would knock it all down to build another one. Bloody hell.
There's some people who actively seek to escalate the problems that we are already facing in a sort of burn it all down, salt the field, and start anew. Others would look at the sandcastle and are perfectly content. I mean, things erode over time, of course. I mean, it's a part of it is fallen over. You can't completely enjoy it, but hey, the parts that are still up are still there. And then there are some who will simply continue trying to slam upside down buckets of wet sand on top of it, hoping to build on top and around it, knowing full well that the foundation is already a little shaky, but if you throw enough sand on top of it, eventually it'll compact and something will be stable. Of course, I'm being a little reductive, as there are likely other perspectives to this, but as of right now, those seem to be the pervading perspectives.
It is a thought that I came to on my own accord today.
Mm.
I was trying to organise somewhat all of the information that's been spiraling around my head over the last couple of days, and as I was looking at the poster, I don't know if you've seen that one. It says it's not charity, it's practice. As I was looking at that in more detail, I then suddenly my mind went to one of the first newspaper clippings I looked at, where it stated that a certain company had done the clean-up after the City Hall explosion, free of charge. And my fear was, it's not charity, it's practice. So my next thought was, does that mean they are practicing a clean-up for something bigger? And then I looked at the other poster, and it was only then I realised that in the background, which I originally thought was just a lovely array of white colours, was actually 3 warheads. Almost as if they were landing towards Earth. It's pretty clear whoever the artist is, they are, whether they know anything or whether it's their gut instinct, they are trying to tell a story of what they think is the intention. Like a jigsaw almost, just trying to put the pieces together. And just to let you know, the people you had me put in touch with, I went to speak to one of the names they gave me today. Mr. Gunnar Kane. I came away from that, I have to be honest, Eliza, I came away from that conversation somewhat relieved. Again, I've been thinking about that other poster that said, why are the government being quiet, essentially, with the 5 phone numbers on it, and one of them was his. And he was very interested in what we had to say, and also didn't really hold back on what he had to say, to whatever extent he could, because of his open investigation. Now, tomorrow, our newspaper will be releasing. I don't feel I'm quite ready yet to go into any particulars of what I've found, because there are too many dots that are not connected. However, there will be an article written by me, which I'm doing every week, which is just kind of like my opinions on things happening around this city at the minute. And in that article this week, I'm going to plead with our leaders to trust that there are people in this city who are inherently good. And the people they're afraid of, they won't care what they have to say. they'll probably laugh at us. The people who do care, the people who are good, they will listen and they will help. But they need to try and trust us. And then this week I will try and contact each and every person on that list and give them the opportunity to speak before I release anything in the paper. And hopefully, my hope is, Eliza, that what I'm going to say in the paper this week is at least a sign to the people who have helped me and any others out there that there is somebody who's going to be willing to put the neck on the line. Try and find the truth. And the hope is by doing it, others will join me.
That is incredibly noble.
Or stupid.
You don't strike me as stupid.
I guess when you've been on the brink of insanity, Eliza, and come back from it, there's not too much that scares you. Not yet, at least.
I'm quite admirable of that perspective.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, Eliza. Whether you've put two and two together or not, but I do consider you to be one of the biggest reasons I came back from that line of insanity. And I thank you for that. I don't think I've ever said it.
You do me great honor by saying that.
And my reward for that great honour is you sending me down a rabbit hole that might send me insane again, Eliza, so thank you.
Well, you are welcome for that. To any degree. Whoever I find that can be helpful to you, I'll try to discreetly make sure that your paths cross.
Thank you, Eliza. There's something behind us just now.
I can hear it.
Fuck.
You know, there are eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah, it is something I am coming to terms with over the last 48 hours. I'll be honest, Eliza, I had a mild panic attack yesterday because I put my phone in my car while I was speaking to somebody and then forgot to pick it up. So.
Oh. That can be quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I defo fucking heard something then, bro.
If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah. I will do, Eliza.
You're right.
Even she agrees.
Most certainly. I know Parsons has a little bit of a reputation, but just about everyone I've met